Fasten your berets and hold on to your baguettes. We've got 5 mind-blowing French facts lined up, but beware, one's a cheeky imposter. Can you spot the fake? Dive into today's game on funny French facts and let the wild guest fest begin. On y va! Bonjour and welcome back to Funny French Facts. Today, we're spicing things up with a little jeu d'esprit, a playful game that will test your knowledge and intuition about all things French. We present to you 5 fantastique facts about this beautiful country. But here's the twist. One of these facts is an imposter, a cleverly crafted piece of fiction. Can you spot which one doesn't belong? Sharpen your wits and let's dive into the heart of France with our very first fact. Prêt? Allez, let's start the game. Number 1. It is forbidden to call your pig Napoleon. If you love pigs and history, you might want to avoid naming your porcine friend after a famous French emperor, because in France, there is a law that forbids calling your pig Napoleon. This law, dating back to the 19th century, was meant to protect the image of the ruler. It is not clear exactly when this law came into effect, whether it was during the First or the Second Empire, but it was definitely in the 19th century. The pig has always had a bad reputation. It is indeed associated with the farm in the waste. The emperor was known to be touchy, which may explain such a decision. However, don't worry, you can still name your pig Louis, Charlemagne, Caesar. George Orwell must not have been aware of this law, since in Animal Farm, the pig is called Napoleon. Other strange laws exist, in France and around the world. For example, France officially banned Parisian women from wearing pants until 2013, or France can still declare a state of emergency in Algeria, despite the independence. In Arkansas, it is forbidden to shower naked, or in Malawi, to have flatulence in public. Number 2. World Champion of Wine Drinking. France, the reigning champion of wine consumption. With a whopping 25.3 million hectoliters glugged down, it's no surprise that France wears the crown. It's practically a national sport, and why wouldn't it be? When you're producing some of the finest wines the world has ever had the pleasure of sipping, it's only natural to partake in the fruits of your labor, n'est-ce pas? But here's the juicy tidbit to swirl in your glass. Despite France's unshakable position as the top of the wine drinking leaderboard, the French are actually drinking a lot less vino than they used to. Sacré bleu, right? Over the last 60 years, wine consumption in France has plummeted by a staggering 70%. It seems that even in the land where wine flows like water, times are a-changing. Yet, amidst this sobering decline, France's enthusiasm for a good Bordeaux or crisp Chardonnay remains unmatched. After all, when you're the best, a little moderation can't hurt. Cheers to that! Number 3. The government awards parents medals for raising their kids well. Did you know that in France, if you're a super parent, you could get a medal for it? That's right. In the land of wine and cheese, they don't just appreciate good food and art. They also honor exceptional parenting with La Médaille de la Famille. Imagine a world where changing diapers, managing temper tantrums, and surviving sleepless nights could earn you a spot on the parenting podium. This unique honor dates back to 1920, under the charming name Médaille d'honneur de la famille française. It's like the Olympics for parenting, but instead of sprinting or swimming, you're wrangling a squad of 4 or more kids. The medal itself is a lovely piece, featuring a blissful couple surrounded by their offspring, with the inspiring words République Française on the back, a constant reminder that you're parenting for the glory of France. Originally, this medal was part of a heartwarming initiative to recognize the heroic mothers who, during the harrowing times of the First World War, played the role of both parents. They raised their children single-handedly after losing their husbands in battle. Even widows who raised 3 kids could join this elite club of supermoms. Jean-Louis Breton, the man behind this idea, made it clear that it wasn't just about producing kids, it was about raising them right, with good morals, sound advice, and exemplary behavior. The medals came in 3 shiny grades: bronze for 4 or 5 kids, silver for 6 or 7, and gold for the ultra-brave souls with 8 or more. Today, however, bronze is the new gold, complete with a snazzy red and green ribbon. In a twist of modernization, the award opened up to dads and non-French citizens in 1983, as long as the children were French. So now, anyone who's done a stellar job raising French kids can join the party, unless of course they're divorced, which apparently doesn't score many points in this competition. To get your hands on this medal, you start at the local mayor, where your application undergoes a thorough review before it's sent to the prefect for the official nod. Once you're approved, there's a fancy ceremony, usually at the mairie or prefecture, and voila, you're officially a medal-winning parent. You can even buy the medal for 30 euros, just in case you want a spare. And for the creme de la creme, Some lucky medalists get invited to the Elysium Palace, where the President of France personally bestows the honor. Now that's what I call parenting goals. So next time you're in France, and you see someone sporting a bronze medal with a red and green ribbon, give them a nod. They're probably a parenting champion.
Let's hit pause on that baguette, shall we? A gentle prod to press like it's like sending us a virtual rose. Still outside the Funny French Facts family? Come on in by subscribing and jingling that bell for more Gallic giggles.
Number 4. People love to hang fishes on the backs of their friends and family. If you are planning to visit France on the 1st of April, you might want to watch your back. Literally, because you could be the target of a fishy prank. Yes, you read that right. In France, April Fool's Day is also known as Poisson d'avril, which means April fish, and the tradition is to stick a paper fish on the back of unsuspecting victims and then run away shouting, Poisson d'avril! Sounds fishy, right? Well, it gets even fishier when you learn about the origin of this custom, which dates back to the 16th century when King Charles IX changed the calendar and some people refused to accept it. They continued to celebrate the new year in April and were mocked by those who followed the new date. They received fake gifts, often featuring fish since it was the end of Lent and fish was allowed by the church, and thus, the April fish was born. But the fun doesn't stop there. The French media also loves to join in the festivities by publishing hoaxes and fake news on the 1st of April. Some of the most memorable ones include the discovery of Asterix Village, the relocation of the Eiffel Tower, and the invention of a machine that can make it rain chocolate. So, if you are in France on the 1st of April, be prepared for some surprises. And don't forget to check your back for any fishy friends. Poisson d'avril. Number 5. One of their presidents died during a very French moment. Félix Faure, a name that rings through history not for his presidential deeds, but for his, let's say, exciting departure from this world. Every February 16th, the anniversary of his death in 1899, Faure's legacy is humorously celebrated, not for his political achievements, but for his scandalous exit at the Elysium Palace. The only French president to breathe his last within the walls of the Elysium, Faure's death is often described as happy, a euphemism that barely conceals the risque details. Legend has it that a cerebral congestion, or a stroke in today's terms, allegedly brought on by an intimate moment with his young mistress, Marguerite Steinheil, was the cause. Picture the scene: the president, mid-romantic rendezvous, suddenly in distress. The unfortunate Steinheil, in a panic, calls for help and dashes away, reportedly leaving her corset behind, and according to some, it took a snip of her hair to release her from the grip of the amorous president. The anecdotes get even more colorful. When the priest arrived for the last rites, he inquired if the president was still conscious. No, she just ran down the service stairs, was the cheeky reply from the guard, misunderstanding the question in a way that would have made a sitcom writer proud. The line between myth and historical truth blurs in this tale. While Faure didn't pass away immediately, but hours later, the press of the time didn't hold back. Le Journal de Pépou concluded he died from sacrificing too much to Venus. And as for Steinheil, the chansonnier, always quick with a quip, dubbed her the funeral pump, a nickname that's as darkly humorous as it is unflattering. Félix Faure's presidency might be a footnote in history, but his sensational exit ensures he'll never be forgotten, at least every February 16th, in the annals of presidential lore. And there you have it, folks. The grand reveal in our Find the Wrong Fact challenge. Drumroll, please. The fact that France is the world champion of wine drinking is, alas, a delightful decoction of fiction. While France indeed bathes in the glory of being a top-notch wine producer, it's the Portuguese who clinched the title, sipping a staggering 67.5 liters per capita, leaving the French trailing behind with 47.4 liters. It's quite a twist in the tale, n'est-ce pas? But here's a funny tidbit to mull over with your next glass of Merlot. In the Grand League of wine enthusiasts, the top 10 slots are all proudly occupied by European countries. Talk about cultural heritage. Now, we're bubbling with curiosity to know which fact tickled your fancy the most. Was it the vinous victory of Portugal, or something else that caught you by surprise? Drop your favorite fact in the comments and share your thoughts on this vineyard of verities. If you reveled in this grape-stomping adventure through facts and fallacies, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for a regular pour of funny French facts. À bientôt, and keep savoring the quirky side of life here on Funny French Facts.